Hello and welcome. I am Matt Roddy, and this is the Greater Prescott Podcast, where we talk about, you guessed it, all things Greater Prescott. You might already be familiar with where we are if you've lived in Prescott for any number of years. Today, I am at Mortimer Farms with Ashlee Mortimer. Ashlee, thank you so much for having me at the farm.
Yes, thank you for coming and thank you for inviting me to be on your podcast. I'm so excited to hang out today.
I'm excited for people to share, or for people to learn about your family's story as you share it. I've read it on the website, but obviously there's a whole lot more to it, and I'm sure we'll touch on Mortimer Nursery as well. Just kind of the whole package. It's really special here. I mean, as you see all these people back here, it holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts, you know, especially if you have kids. I mean, that's
Right.
a huge one, and I've got 4. We come out here. I mean, it's just, so I'm excited for all the viewers to get to know the backstory, and then we'll obviously dive into farm life as well.
Awesome, let's do it.
To kick it off, just start, I want you to give people a sense of who you are. Where were you born and raised? Just give people your background,
Okay.
and that'll kind of include your family in that, as this is largely the family story. And your dad's just like right over there in the tractor. So
They're all working.
They're all working.
Yep. So I was born and raised in Prescott, Arizona. When I was a few years old, my family had the opportunity to buy a ranch in Dewey, and so
Okay.
we moved to Dewey. Both of my parents grew up in agriculture and were taken away from the family farm and agriculture when they were younger. So they knew when they
Gotcha.
married that they wanted to have that in their kids' lives.
Yep.
So when that opportunity came, we jumped on it. We moved out to Dewey,
Okay.
and I've lived in Dewey my whole life,
Yeah.
pretty much. And we lived on the ranch. I grew up on the ranch, cattle ranch, about 10 miles from the farm.
Okay.
And then in 2010, my family had the opportunity to start opening and be at this farm. And one of our greatest passions is to share the story of farming and ranching and food with the public, and this is
Okay.
a perfect place to do that. And so that's part of the reason why we came to this farm, is so that we can invite people to the farm to learn about how
Okay.
food happens.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So again, I shared with you before the podcast, you learn things that websites don't tell you, that phone calls don't tell you. I would have never known that one of kind of your visions is to share farm life with people and to kind of inspire that and help, maybe even help people do some of that type of
Yes,
stuff. So
yeah,
what'd you
definitely.
do when you were a kid? I mean, heck, you lived on a ranch, so, but I don't even know what hardly you do on a ranch.
Right. So a lot of, and it's fun that you asked this, because a lot of the things that we did as kids, we've kind of altered a little bit so that we can have that experience for our guests. So we call them farm-inspired rides, games, and
Okay.
activities.
Yeah.
So our favorite thing as kids was, we called it hay bale jumping.
Okay.
So my dad bales, round bales of hay. They're huge. They're probably 4 feet tall, maybe
Yeah.
5, probably 5
They're
feet tall.
huge.
Yeah, they're huge.
Mhm.
And we would get on top of them and run and race and try to jump over bales. And
No
so that
kidding.
was one of our favorite things as kids.
So literally
to do.
you're
On top of the
it's-
bales,
as
and
it's rolling and walking
so
with it.
the bales are in spot. They don't move, but
Okay.
then we're moving. So you lay them in the roll on the ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we're running on top of them.
Gotcha.
And racing, and then we'll jump over one of them. And so that was
Yeah.
one of our fun things. And then another one that we love doing is we do a lot of dirt work out at the ranch
Okay.
and get landscape material and dirt to sell in Prescott.
Ah,
And
yes.
so the big piles of dirt, we would slide down them and race on them and run up them, and all of the stuff that you would never think would be fun, that we'd be there for hours hanging out and
Give
doing.
my kids a pile of dirt. You just set it and forget it. They are good.
Right,
That-
exactly.
that's so fun. But you had good piles of dirt.
Yes, we had
Big old piles
yep,
of dirt.
big piles of dirt.
Yeah,
Yep.
nice. Does your family still have the ranch that you've been describing out there?
Yes,
Okay.
we do. Yep, that's where we do all of our animal side of what we do. So that's where we raise the cattle, raise
Oh,
the
okay.
pigs, raise the chickens, the
Yeah.
turkeys, and then everything at the farm is more of the plant side of it.
The agricultural
Yep,
side of
exactly.
it. Gotcha. So how many animals and varieties are out at?
So we
Nice.
have cattle, pigs, turkeys, chickens, and horses out at the
Okay.
ranch.
Mhm.
And all of that we raise, besides the horses, we raise all of that
Yeah.
for the meat that is in the country store.
No kidding.
Yeah, so it's awesome. A lot of Arizona
Wow.
agriculture doesn't have that farm and ranch connection and marriage,
absolutely.
right? But and a
Oh
lot
my
of Midwestern
goodness.
places do, and that's where my
Makes
dad's
sense.
from. And so
Okay.
that's kind of why, part of the reason why we have the farm and the ranch, and the
Mhm.
marriage that they have, and everything works together and
Totally.
and melds very nicely.
Totally. Don't hesitate to change as the wind blows your hair.
Okay.
Just stop and move your
Crazy.
headphones. Yeah, we're doing it live, and it's just windy today, so that's
is
what
very
that's what we're
windy.
doing. So, growing up, you jump on hay bales. Did you do sports? Were you academic? Did you just do a lot of ranching stuff?
So I did a lot of agriculture stuff
Okay.
growing up. I did 4-H and FFA. And then
Okay.
my siblings, they all are more sportsy than I
Okay.
am.
Yeah.
I did, when I was super young, I did flag football and volleyball.
Nice.
Yeah, and then
That was that.
that was that. And then I get too busy with 4-H and
Yeah.
animals and work and everything else. And yep, so.
What kind of animals did you show?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep, it's showing them. I
Okay.
showed cattle and pigs, and I did not like pigs, showing pigs, and I don't know why. It just, cattle were so much more fun.
Gotcha. Okay. What as you look back on those types of things? Because this is, I think, fascinating since I have kids. What did you learn? Like, how do you look back and go, I'm glad I got to do some of those things. It may not have been my favorite showing pigs, but I don't know. What'd you learn?
So I think a lot of showing animals and being in that FFA 4-H kind of world is the responsibility that you learn as a really young child. You are responsible for another life. You're responsible for feeding, for watering, for making sure they're not sick, for giving them all the things that they need to survive. And that's a very big and important and reason that I'm glad that I grew up the way that I did, because I got to learn these things that a lot of other kids didn't and don't. And then being involved in agriculture, and especially on the farm, I feel like I had a lot of adult responsibilities a lot younger than a lot of other people
Naturally,
do.
yeah.
And so that's really helped me get into my career and get going in what I want to do. And a lot of people my age, they're a lot younger than I am in the things that they're doing, because I had this experience before of managing people, or knowing how to run cash, or knowing how to run a register, or all of this stuff that a lot of people don't. So that's why I'm very big about first-time jobs. I think everybody needs to have a job when they're in high
the
school.
better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Get all of those skills that you learn on hands-on work.
So many. They're tangible and intangible.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Good job, Mom and Dad.
Seriously, my parents are awesome.
Yeah. My son, who's almost 8, he's my oldest. We said, hey Wyatt, what's a list of things that you could do to make money? Kind of with this idea that you're talking about, like, how can we begin to teach him for hard work and how money actually works? And so, because those skills are vitally important.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and people, the earlier you learn that, the more ahead you'll be. And a lot of people right out of college, that's what they're learning right out of college. But if you know that in high school, then you're just that far more ahead when you're getting out of college and can just jump in and know those skills.
You were working early. Oh my goodness. Good. That's huge. Nice. So then, where'd you go to high school?
I went to AAEC in Prescott Valley. It's I called it, I don't know if they still call it this, but in high school we called it Horsey High.
Okay.
So all of the what do you call the extra classes, like PE and
extracurricular type stuff?
I'm like, electives and stuff. Electives is the word. All of the electives that are at the school have to do with rodeo and horses and agriculture. And then you can take college classes for electives and for your core classes. So before and on top of that, any classes you take at the college, the high school will pay for. Yeah, so it was a gigantic blessing to go to that school. They are awesome, and I got to take tons and tons of college classes, and it counted for high school and for my associates.
Yeah, you're dual enrolled basically.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I got to graduate with my associate's degree just a few months after I graduated from high school.
You basically that summer did a class or two maybe and just finished it up.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Good for you.
I'm a big proponent of AAEC. They're awesome.
I think actually we're going to start to see more schools like that have, it's not the traditional learning method, where they have some things like that because not every kid can sit in a classroom and do math and things like that. I'm sure you got to do some of that in high school, but my point is those other extracurricular things, they're really important.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, and the other really exciting part of doing it that way is I hate math.
Okay.
And I probably could do it if I really, really tried, but I don't like it that much. And so I guess I don't like it. So I didn't do as good as I probably could have.
Yeah.
But I got to enroll in a college class that counted for the college and the high school. So I only had to take one college math class, and I didn't have to take any math I went to U of A, and I didn't have to take any math. It was awesome.
Children, that's not a reason to go to this school, is to take less math. That's hilarious.
Yes. Yeah.
So then down to U of A?
Yep. Then
What'd you go to Tucson for?
I went to University of Arizona for agriculture communications. The name of the degree is like 15 words long, so pretty much agriculture communications. Yeah, and my passion of telling people about agriculture and where their food comes from and all of that is why I went to school for communications.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So is it more of a calm degree with some basically nuance, not even nuances, but with the extras of the agriculture kind of? Yeah.
So it
really
was more opposite than that. It was like an agriculture degree with communications classes weaved into that, and a lot of things which I'm very thankful for my parents again for this. A lot of things I already had some experience with, because like press releases or things like that I had to do already at the farm, and I helped with the marketing at the farm. So it was like just an added bonus to that stuff that I learned at the farm, and other people telling me, which helped of, oh no, that's right, or no, you didn't just learn that from your parents. That's kind of that extra education to kind of piggyback on what I knew from the farm, which was cool.
How long were you in Tucson?
I was in Tucson for 2 years.
Okay, because that's all you needed to graduate.
Exactly.
Man, that's awesome.
Go AAEC.
How was your time in Tucson? That's where I was born and raised.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So, because I'm so connected to the farm, every single weekend I would drive here. And so it was 2 hours, 45 minutes from my house to the farm.
Okay.
And I would come right after class on most classes.
God.
I finished early Thursday morning so I could come here, and then I would leave early Monday morning to make it back to my class. And so I feel like I never really was in Tucson because I have always been here.
Live that full immersion in a sense.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And the same thing, after college I went and worked at Arizona Cattle Growers.
Okay.
And the same thing with that. I was in Phoenix for a little over 2 years, and I never really lived in Phoenix. I was there, but I was here.
Yeah. How come?
I just love what we do here. I love agriculture. I'm not a city person. I like visiting big cities and getting the hustle and bustle. But I love being able to get connected back to where food comes from and seeing kids learn about where food comes from and enjoying the open spaces and the outdoors and just connecting to what our roots are and to where our food comes from.
Yeah. Well said.
Thank you.
Good job to tell everyone about yourself.
I know.
I love
that was
learning
a lot.
about it. It is a lot. But I think it helps people to connect with you, and it really sets the stage for your passion, as well as I think your family's passion for what is going on.
Definitely.
Behind this. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your folks to give people a sense of you basically just brushed by it, or you just sprinkled in a tiny bit about how they ended up with this farm. Give the people a little more story on, I guess, how your family came to the greater Prescott area, and a little more context.
Okay, will do. So my dad grew up in Creston, Iowa. It's a tiny, tiny town in Creston. And his family grew a lot of corn and soybeans and also had cattle in Iowa. His mother is not, her name's Karen, Grandma Karen. She is not a fan of the cold, so they came to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Lots different than Iowa.
No,
in Iowa, we'll go and visit, and you have to leave the semis. We always drive a semi so we can bring farm equipment back with us.
Gotcha.
And we have to leave the semis on at night because they freeze and don't restart in the morning. It's so cold. And so because of that, they moved to Arizona.
Okay.
She brought my dad along with her. I think it was when he was either just getting out of middle school or just starting high school.
Okay.
And so then they were in Phoenix. My dad is very passionate about plants. He loves landscaping, loves nursery, loves agriculture.
Yeah.
And so in Phoenix, that is what he did in high school, is he worked for a nursery landscape business.
Totally.
And then they sent him up to Prescott to do a job. And he said, hey, I really like it here. Can I start a new branch up in Prescott for you? And they said, oh no, Prescott's too small. There's no business in Prescott. We're not doing that. And he said, okay, well, I'll go do it.
Okay.
So in 1986, I believe, he came to Prescott. He started his landscape business, and soon after built the nursery on Willow Creek Road. He lived in the upstairs of the nursery until after he met my mom. And then it's just built from there. So that's my dad's story. And then my mom's story, she grew up in Harquahela Valley. Her dad did cotton farming and was a manager of a cotton farm there. And she has a lot of agriculture roots in Mesa, doing oranges and just in the Phoenix area. And again, the heat, this is opposite of my dad's story. The heat in Phoenix was too much for my mom's dad. He gets really bad migraines. And his parents lived up in Prescott. So they're like, hey, come up. We are much cooler than Phoenix is, 20 degrees cooler. And so he came up to Prescott, and I can't remember how old my mom was when they moved up here, but she grew up here most of her life. She was up in Prescott, and they always had animals, always had a little, like a garden and stuff, but wasn't the big agriculture that they did have in their family down in Phoenix. And then how their paths crossed, this is the fun part of the story. So my dad, like I said, did landscaping, and my grandpa, my mom's dad, Grandpa Ronnie, he managed church building maintenance in the Prescott area. And he hired my dad to do the landscaping and the maintenance of all of the church buildings in Prescott. And then my Grandpa Ronnie and my dad got along really good, and they started becoming friends. And my mom was super busy doing her own thing and working and going to school and all of that stuff. And my Grandpa Ronnie kept saying, you really need to stay and stop by for dinner so you can meet this guy. She's like, oh yeah, I will eventually. And then the story, it's history from there. That's so fun. Yeah, it's super fun. And so then we lived in Prescott. I have a younger brother, Hayden, who is in the Army, and then a younger sister, Kayla. She's in beauty school right now. All three of us were born in Prescott, and we lived in Prescott. And then in 2003, the opportunity to come and buy the ranch happened. And it was an older lady that didn't have any family to pass the ranch on to, and she was getting too old and too old to.
It's too much.
Yeah, too much. So she sold it to us and said, if you ever develop this property, I'm gonna haunt you from the grave. And that's our. We're like, we're not gonna do that because we don't want to, and she's gonna haunt us, so we can't do that. And so we were there, and then my little brother was born, Colton. He's just I think he's a junior in high school.
You've been gone for a little bit.
Oh my goodness. And then in 2010, the opportunity to come and be on this farm happened, and like I said, we have a passion for agriculture and sharing the story of how food happens, and so that's why we jumped on that opportunity. And we're so blessed and so thankful to be able to connect with people and be the connection between people and their food, because most people, they're generations removed from farming and ranching, and that's just the world we're in.
Naive. That's why, honestly, it's one reason this fascinates me. It's somewhat like getting back to the roots.
Yes,
something
I love that.
I think we're going to see our culture starting to do that a little more. But anyways, it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, and just like you, lots of people, they want to learn about where their food comes from. It's just they want to hear that story. And it's becoming more and more every day. And so it's a blessing to be able to help people hear that story and not only know how we do things, but how a lot of people in agriculture do.
Right. Okay. How in the world do your parents buy this farm? Like, how does that all work? Meaning, 99.99% of people would never in a million years think about buying something like this and turning it into what is behind us. So, where does that come from?
I think a lot of it, and a lot of the reason why we are here, comes from the passion that we have. We have a long-term lease on this property, and it's our goal eventually to be able to buy it, but you know, all of those money signs that comes with property. So with all of that, it's just a blessing to be able to be here and to grow food and to invite the public to come and see what we're doing.
Thank you for sharing all
Yes.
that backstory.
Yes,
It's
that was
fantastic.
Yeah, that was a lot of backstory,
It
but
is.
now you know everything.
We know a few things. No, it's great. It gives people a deeper reason to connect, and that's
Definitely.
what I love about it. Before
Definitely.
we dive in here, talk just a little bit about the nursery. I just don't want to forget it. Then we'll get into this,
Perfect.
and that'll be
Okay,
where we go.
awesome. So like I said, my dad loves plant material.
Mhm.
I remember driving down the road as a kid and he'd point at something and we had to say what the name of that whatever plant it was. Was it a grass or a bush and what variety and
Yeah.
all of
good
the facts
job,
behind
Dad.
it. I know, he's awesome. I'm not as good as he is with
Oh, yeah.
plant material, but
course.
that was
You're probably pretty good. You're above average. I guarantee it.
I don't know. I feel like he sets the bar really
Next
high.
level.
He knows everything. Oh, look at John behind us is
What's
giving
John
us
doing?
funny faces.
Come on, John.
Oh, so the nursery, we love the nursery. That just connects people, and a lot of the nursery side of it is helping people get that beautiful backyard and that beautiful outdoor space, and that's a fun thing that we can do there. And so many people, especially in Prescott and our area, they love plant material and love the outdoor spaces and the flowers
We're
and the butterflies.
largely an
and-
outdoor area. I mean, we have
Yes.
some cold months for sure, but other than that, you can be outside a lot.
Yes,
Mhm.
definitely. So that is an awesome thing
So
to
what?
help connect
Yeah. So
with
what can people find over at Mortimer Nursery?
Everything.
Okay.
We have so much. We have trees, we have evergreens, we have bushes. Butterfly bushes are my favorite. Flowers, roses.
Yep.
There's tons and tons of stuff over there, and all of our staff out at the nursery is wonderful. We have a wonderful manager, her name's Karen, and wonderful staff that are just knowledgeable about our area plants and what works well here and how to make plants grow.
Totally.
And so yeah, I compared to them know nothing about plant material.
Well,
They are amazing. I'll go
Yeah.
when I was in college in Tucson, like I said, I always left to come here, and so thus my indoor plants always suffered because I never was there, right? And so
That's
I would bring
funny.
my plants back and say, please revive this
take
for me.
care of 'em.
Yep, I'll come back and get it when it
Like
looks
the
good again.
babysitter.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
so they are
I live
awesome.
pretty much. I live at Smoke Tree and Willow Creek, so
Oh,
I drive
cool.
by the nursery
Cool.
all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I love the nursery. Those plants are beautiful. Karen and our staff there has just put together our greenhouses as kind of a walk-through,
Oh, nice.
beautiful demonstration garden
Yeah.
almost, and you can buy things right out of the different
Yeah.
displays.
Perfect.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
There's waterfalls and water fountains and
Okay.
butterfly bushes and birds and butterflies in there. I love all of that stuff.
Good.
It's so nice.
Good. So if you guys need anything nursery related, head over to Mortimer Nursery, or at least give them a phone call.
Yeah.
They're a mountain of resource,
Yes,
just of knowledge. So if you got any questions.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We'd love to have everybody come over.
Exactly.
Yep, come on by.
All right, let's talk about the farm.
Hey! Woo! So,
Go for it.
Okay.
So what, 2010 is when you guys started it?
Yes, so-
Interesting time to start a business, just
Yes,
in terms of the economy and
yeah, and I
things,
think
so.
I know, like we were talking about earlier, I feel like a lot of something that my family really believes is everything falls into place. If
Mm-hmm.
you work and you do your part, everything will fall into how it needs to happen, and that's kind of what happened here, I think. At the ranch, my mom would always invite our school classes in elementary school to
Aw.
come out and learn about ranching
Yes.
and get on a hayride and go
Yes.
in. We have a few fields out there where we grow additional pumpkins and hay, and so we
Okay.
would bring our classes out and learn about
Yeah.
agriculture. And then for our birthdays, she would come to our school and make homemade ice cream and teach about where each of the ingredients came from and how it connected back to agriculture.
Yeah.
So that is kind of where it all
Man.
stemmed from. And
So
that,
that's literally the pot that you grew up in. Like that is
Yes.
the foundation of
Yes,
which your
definitely.
roots are in.
yeah,
That's
and
cool.
so that when we had the opportunity to come and to revitalize this
Yeah.
farm and to start growing crops again,
Mhm.
like, wait a minute, we're right on a corner. We're right where the public can come and learn what
time.
farming is about.
Mhm.
And let's bring what we were doing at the ranch and in the classroom to a farm and have that additional resource for people to connect to their food.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so this is our 10th year anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh yeah, you got the big semi
I
trailer
know,
out
so
there. That-
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been here 10 years, and
Wow.
every year it's grown. Every year something's changing. More farm-inspired rides are added and activities and different crops are coming. I can't remember how many years ago it is now, but we planted this garden that's behind you that you can't see in the camera. And
I'm going to go spin it.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, you just tell people all about it.
Awesome. So this is where the customers can come out and learn and pick their own produce. So we call it the Pick Your Own Experience. And that area is one of the additions that we did a few years ago that just has been amazing. Out on the end of each of the rows, it says what that crop is and how to harvest it. And so then you can go out, you get your baskets, you learn about how to harvest whatever crop that is. We have 40 different varieties of vegetables in this area: squash, onions, zucchini, cucumbers, okra, flowers. There's everything out there, anything that you want. Every Thursday, I do a fun thing on Instagram stories. I say, let's go shopping. And I do a fast video of somebody shopping in the garden and just picking it from the plant, putting it in their shopping cart. And that's what all of our guests get to do, is come out to the field and shop for whatever they want for dinner that night. So that's a super fun thing. And then more recently, we have added strawberry picking, and this is probably our 3rd season doing strawberries. And it's the same idea. You come out and you pick your strawberries right off the bush. You can eat a few when you're in the fields, and you can take home those strawberries that you picked for yourself. And that's just such a fun experience.
It's so cool.
Really connect. Not only are you on a farm, but you get to participate in how food grows. And it's so fun to see kids and these little kids with berry stained faces or like, oh my gosh, an onion comes from that plant, or that's how I pick an onion, or I have to dig the onion out of the ground. It's a whole different world, but it's so fun.
Yeah, because we are so far removed. Most of us are, and so seeing that. Yeah, follow Ashlee on Instagram, or Mortimer. It's
Mortimer Farms.
Mortimer Farms, yeah. So you'll post a bunch of photos that people can get just a sense of things like that.
Yes.
There's little kids with strawberry all over their face, and it's the onions and all that fun stuff.
Yes, every day I try and post on our story what we're doing. So if we're pulling weeds or just a few glimpses, I mean, you can't capture everything.
But farm life.
Yeah, a few glimpses of farm life every day. It's really fun to take people along on social media and kind of get a glimpse of what we do, and then be able to come out and experience it for yourself.
So behind us, you shared about the garden, and out here,
which you can see that from our camera.
How big is the farm?
So the farm is 350 acres. About 200, I believe, is farmable acres, and is with our fields, and 60 acres of that is public accessible. So we have all of the strawberry fields, all the farm-inspired rides, the corn mazes this time of year, pumpkin patches, the gardens, blackberries we do in July, and all of that. You have full range to wherever you want to go in that area. And then the other part of the farm, we have a lot of fences and cattle and machines that have keys in them, and so we're like, that's our
off limits.
We'll grow additional. So we have pumpkins back there. We have additional onions. We have additional produce that we grow back there, pick, and then take into the store. So all of the stuff out here, customers can pick and enjoy all of it whenever we're in season. All season long for whatever crop that is.
That is so cool.
Super cool. Yeah, it's such a fun thing to watch people enjoy it.
Right? Yeah. Man. So much going on out here, Ashlee.
So much, yes.
It's almost overwhelming, actually, when you look out here. There's just so many things to do.
And look at all those people picking strawberries behind us.
Let's walk people through. Well, before I forget, how in the world do you carve a corn maze?
Ooh, great question.
Yeah, so tell people what I'm referring to, and
Perfect.
It's amazing.
Awesome. So this year, our corn maze is a tribute to America, I guess. It has an American flag, the bald eagle, and then it says "We Stand with America" with our logo in it. And every year we try to do something that corresponds with what's going on in the world, and it's so fun to come up with it. We always get our brain power going, and it's hard to do. It takes us probably about like 5 months to think of what we're gonna do, right? But it's so fun, and after it happens, it's so cool to see, like, oh, that's really what the corn maze looks like. But to answer your question, when it is before I say that, the corn maze is made out of field corn.
Okay.
So it's not sweet corn that you eat off of the cob. It is more bitter and it grows taller on the stalk. The corn stalk is taller, and it's used for making corn tortillas, corn chips, and animal feed.
Gotcha.
And so when you come out, we suggest you leave the corn in there so we can use it later on after we combine it after the season. And when that corn, we plant the field corn, and when it's about 3 inches tall, we have a grid system. We grid out the field with flags. And then we go in and take out the paths of the maze. So then from 3 inches tall to 10 to 12 feet, it grows in that pattern.
So from early, so you don't actually come and cut anything out necessarily, but from that 3-inch period, you said 3 inches?
Right.
That's it?
Yep. Really short.
Goodness. Yeah, tiny.
And then that way, because when it gets super tall, you can't see where you're at. So when it's short, you can navigate more and you can see the whole field, and it's a lot, and it's a lot easier to take those stalks out of those paths when it's short.
So when you post a picture, the aerial photo of what the corn maze looks like, you in a sense knew what it was going to look like months before, because you had planned out the grid system and then eventually pulled out the stuff that...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of when we actually did the grid system, and I can't, all my months combine in my head. So I think it was like probably 3 months ago or so, maybe even more.
That is so cool.
We've known and we keep it a secret. It's like it's fun to keep the exciting news a secret until we blast it and tell everybody about what it is.
Wow, that's a long time to keep a secret like that. Oh my goodness.
I know, it's exciting secret. It's hard to keep it a secret.
Yeah. Okay, let's run people through the events that take place here.
Okay.
So it's September. What's going on behind us, and then just kind of run us through the calendar of what people can expect throughout the year.
Okay, sounds good. So right now is our Pumpkin Fest and Corn Maze season. Yesterday was day 1, which was September 18th. I don't know when you're publishing this.
As soon as I can.
Cool. So we're going September 18th through November 1st is our Pumpkin Fest and Corn Maze Festival. And it's so much fun here at the farm at this time of year. We have 40 farm-inspired rides, games, and activities. We have all of the U-Pick experiences. So the middle, 2nd to 3rd week of October, the vegetables and strawberries will go out of season. But until then, you'll be able to enjoy the U-Pick experience. Yeah. And then after that and now, you'll guests are able to pick their own pumpkins. Okay. So that's a little bit about what produce and veggies and strawberries and pumpkins that you can pick. And like I said, we have admission into the festival includes farm-inspired rides, games, and activities. It includes zip lines, hay rides, barrel train, grain train, lots of entertainment and shows. We press apple cider, which here's a sample. We press fresh apple cider in a apple cider press here on the farm, and we do demonstrations of how that works and how it happens.
Cool.
It's so much fun. Every Friday night we do a barn dance, and it's just
where is the barn, speaking of?
So I don't know if we can see. Okay, you can kind of see it from here. It is on the other side of this tree. You see those other trees over there? That is where the barn is.
Okay.
And it's an indoor-outdoor location. It's beautiful. We do weddings and parties and it's so fun over there.
Okay. Yeah. So people essentially rent that when they need something?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, definitely. We do weddings, anniversaries, parties, birthdays, corporate events. Yep. All the things.
You host. Okay.
Yeah, we host. We love doing that stuff.
What's
so
the
fun.
Friday night barn dance like?
So much fun. This last Friday we had a live band to kick off the Pumpkin Fest and Corn Maze, and we're gonna have to have a live band more often because you can't go back after you have a live band.
Right? You really upped your game.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We have dancing. Well, in the beginning of the dance, it starts at 6. We do a farm-to-table meal.
Really?
And yes, so that is delicious. Every week it's a different menu item, just whatever is being harvested at the farm. And then we do dancing, and there's people that know how to dance really, really good, and then other people have never danced before, and just a variety of ages. Yeah, we have lots of different ages, younger kids, old people, everybody.
Okay, that's awesome. Is that a year-round thing? Is that a summer?
Great question.
thing?
So we start the dances in March usually and go through the first week of November.
Okay.
Just because it starts
Kind of
getting
the weather,
cold.
yeah, because
right.
it's the open.
Yeah,
type
exactly.
Of, okay, that sounds so fun.
Yeah,
I mean, I've
it's
seen
so
the
fun.
photos.
You gotta come. It's so
it
fun.
looks like a perfect date night for my wife and I.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, can you bring kids?
You can bring
okay.
kids, but you can just come by yourselves too. Yeah.
I'd prefer to come by myself or come with Emily.
Yeah, it's so much fun. We do yard games all on the lawn also. So we'll have cornhole and giant Jenga and roping dummies. And
nice.
Yeah, so it's just a family event and it's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, bring Emily. That would be awesome. You're welcome anytime.
After this fall festival, run us through some more events as the seasons, as the winter, spring, summer.
Okay. Yeah,
Go for it.
definitely. Okay. So
basically, I want people to know what in the world you guys do here and when you do it so that they can come on over and enjoy.
Okay, sounds good. So after the Pumpkin Fest and Corn Maze, our slow season for us starts happening. And so most of that is because of the weather. We can't grow all of our produce and berries when it's cold outside, but we'll do winter crops and a lot of cover crops to help the soil get nutrients back in it and do crop rotation. So that's a lot of what our winter is. In November, after pumpkin season, we bring all of our cattle into the pumpkin fields and they eat the remainder of the pumpkins that are left over. So we always grow more pumpkins than we need, and that's on purpose. So we always, even on the last weekend, have a lot of orange pumpkins out there. And then with the anticipation that our cattle are going to come in and eat and finish, and they love pumpkins. Cattle love pumpkins, so that's super fun.
That's a treat.
Yep. So in November, if you come to the farm, you'll be able to see that site. It's so cool to see lots of black cows and lots of orange pumpkins. Yeah, I love it. And then, so we do a lot of farming during that time and cover crops, like I was saying. The country store and the farm park are open all year round. All of our
farm park is.
Yes.
Oh wow,
So,
I didn't know that.
all of our farm-inspired rides, games, and activities, you can come and enjoy those all year round. And then our next event is Santa at the farm. So Santa comes to the farm, and we have food with Santa. We have ornament decorating, or ornament creating, and cookie decorating, and letters to Santa and farm park stuff. And so getting the kids to come and see Santa on the farm is so fun. Yeah, and on those events we limit the amount of people that are coming so Santa can really connect with the kids and have a discussion with them instead of just a quick photo. So that's super fun.
It's more intimate.
Yes, it's an intimate event. That's super fun. And then so that's Christmas. And then around Easter, a few weeks before Easter, we do an adult Easter egg hunt at the farm. Yeah, so come out at night.
What in the world is
an
adult Easter egg hunt?
It's so fun. So it is at dark. We do a happy hour and dancing and like hors d'oeuvres down at the barn. And then we hide over 2,000 eggs, and you go out in the dark and collect and find eggs. And then you'll bring them up to the country store and redeem the prizes for those eggs. So some of them have like flat screen TVs, some of them have Pumpkin Fest admission, flowers. Yeah, so you'll get really cool prizes in all of the eggs. Yeah, it's a super fun time.
What a great idea. I have never heard of that type of an idea.
Yeah, it's super fun. Everybody, it's so fun to see all of the adults come to the farm without kids, because usually adults bring the kids and they'll bring their headlights and spotlights and be all bundled.
Game on.
It's game on. It's intense. It's so fun though. Yeah, so that's that event. We also do a family Easter egg hunt, which is during the day and enjoys the farm park, and the Easter bunny comes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. This year we had to do a drive-through Easter bunny visit. So with everything going on in the world, we decided let's do a free drive-through Easter bunny visit. Let's have the Easter bunny handing out packages of cookies and all of Easter eggs and all of that stuff. Yeah, goodies. So we had all of it already prepared for the family Easter egg hunt pre-craziness. And so that was amazing to see families being able to get out of their house and come in, have a little bit of normalcy. That was a lot different than normal, but still being able to enjoy Easter and enjoy the traditions that a lot of people have. So that was awesome.
Good work.
It was way more well received than we thought it was going to be. I guess that's not the right way to say it. We weren't thinking as many people were going to show up as they did.
You just weren't sure.
It was so cool. Yeah,
Good.
it was awesome. We had about 3,000 people come. We did it for 2 days.
Holy
and
cow.
the line.
So we're referring to this time of COVID if you're not catching on. So there was obviously, I imagine people were just kind of hungry to get out as well and just to connect you a little bit.
Yep, and so we were doing all the sanitation stuff on our side, and like I said, the packages were already pre-made, so it was like, this is the perfect time. This is what we need to do. We need to invite the public, and we need to we did a drive-through, like I said, through the parking lot, and we had the Easter Bunny waving at people, and some were doing selfies with the Easter Bunny, and it was good to get smiles on people's faces.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So then after Easter, I'm trying to think of what we do after Easter. There's so much that we do. I got to remember our timeline here. So we also have a strawberry festival. We have a sweet corn festival. We have a garlic festival, and we have a blackberry festival. And so all of those happen during the summer months at the farm, and they all are catered towards whatever crop it is that we're growing and harvesting.
Naturally.
So, and we do different contests with whatever crop that is, and we do different shows and entertainment. We do hay rides, we do tours about that crop, and then we have the farm park and all the farm inspired rides going during all those festivals as well.
Man.
Yeah, super fun.
Super busy.
Yes, always.
Holy
we like it busy
cow.
around
I
here.
can tell. Your dad's driving a tractor on a Saturday. Like, oh man.
Yep.
You guys like it busy.
We do. We love, like I said, we love what we do, and we love. It gives an added amount of busy to have people come onto the farm just to make sure that if we're planting a field on a normal farm, you wouldn't have to think, okay, let me think through public being here tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And so it gives a little bit of an added
it changes
busy.
logistics a little bit.
Right, but we love it. We love being able to have that thought process and being able to think that, okay, somebody's going to see us planting this, and that's amazing.
Yes. I mean, that speaks to your why. That speaks to your family's purpose of what is behind us.
Yes.
Which is really neat and really rare in these days. And that's one reason it interests me so much. And I think obviously you see the amount of people out here as well. It interests them as well.
Yes. And the awesome thing, and especially during this time of the year, it's people will call us and say, well, you're open? It's like, well, we have 60 acres of open space and open air, and you can social distance. You can, right now we're, 100 feet away from somebody at least. And that's at the farm. Like you're out on a farm, and you can be in the middle of the field, and somebody else can be on the other side, and you're way far away from each other.
Totally.
Yeah. So no matter how busy it seems, that's a great part to have, that we can be outdoors and we can enjoy normal but still be cautious and be spread out. Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I love it. Couple of things as we wrap up. Just speak a couple minutes to what it is about the greater Prescott area that you and your family just love.
Great question. We love the weather primarily. A lot of.
That's why I moved here.
Yes, it's beautiful here. You can drive an hour to Phoenix and be in the city, or you can drive an hour to Flagstaff and be in the snow. And sometimes we get snow, and even a few years ago we got so much snow. That was awesome. And then it's just, even on the hot days, it's not really hot.
It's not that hot.
It's so nice. And then on top of that, we love the outdoor
lifestyle.
Yeah, lifestyle. Yeah, it's like you could rock climb, you can go hiking, you can go kayaking, just all all of that fun stuff. And then it's still small town. Like you still go downtown Prescott, and it still is a small, like it still feels like an intimate downtown. And that's awesome as well.
I agree. I met a gentleman who was born and raised, let's call it Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Wherever he was raised, they had a square downtown, just like what we have here.
Cool.
And he said when they were looking for a place to retire, they went downtown, and he's just like, it was such nostalgia.
I love that.
And it has that sense of nostalgia and throwback.
Definitely.
With so much more to offer than just downtown.
Right,
which
yeah.
is amazing.
And all of the shopping and all the jewelry and all the yummy food down there and the craft fairs, and it's
Grand
fun.
Canyon's 2 hours. We just have so many things.
Yes.
You speak to it.
We're in we're in like the heart of awesome.
I agree. And I think that's why people are going to keep moving here.
Yes,
because it's
very
just
true.
really, really nice.
Yes, yeah,
Nice.
definitely.
Well said. I'm glad you and your family love it. Are your siblings ever going to come back, you think?
I think so. My brother,
Sure your folks are like,
we
ready.
need them back to work, but more than that, we miss them too.
Yeah.
But I think that they will all eventually be back here, I think. My family has a rule that you have to be away from the family business, at least have another job and be away from this being your primary job and primary thing for at least 5 years.
Okay.
And so my 2 younger siblings that are away now, they're still in those 5 years. And so I think a lot of that.
What happened to you?
I had to do it too.
You went to Tucson for 2 years. That doesn't count.
I went to Tucson for 2 years, and then I was in Phoenix for 2 months less than 3 years.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. We'll give you a pass.
I know.
No, that makes sense.
I know.
Just to get some perspective in a sense.
Yeah. And then to be able to come back here and know this is what you want to do and not feel like, I have to stay at the farm.
Because that's totally different.
Right. Exactly.
Good point. Okay.
Yep.
As we wrap up, I am going to ask you 7 questions.
Okay.
This is the rapid fire question section.
Okay.
So just answer with what first comes to mind.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Yeah, you got this. Question number 1.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing about Greater Prescott?
Kayaking.
What's your favorite restaurant in Greater Prescott?
Rosa's Pizza.
What's the number 1 thing on your Greater Prescott bucket list?
Ooh. Bucket list is things you haven't done, right?
Right, that you really want to do.
Ooh. I feel like I've done almost everything that I want to do. I've lived here for...
You've done a few things.
For a lot of years.
I want to go on a helicopter ride around the area, because there's a lot of topography changes.
That's a thing?
And hills.
They have that?
I don't know. That's just what I want to do.
I would want to do that if that's an option, or hot air ballooning but I don't think we have either of those.
I don't know.
We need to create it.
I don't know.
So we can check it off our bucket list.
What's your favorite all-time thing on the farm or ranch?
Ooh, you're asking the hard questions. I love the public coming and having that connection like we've been talking about the whole time. And my thing besides that is I love cattle. I love the genetics of cows.
Yeah.
I love getting into how they help the environment and how they work together to make the environment better, and all of that science side of it, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
What are 3 words to describe living in Greater Prescott?
Outdoors, cool, and what's one word that says something different every day? Diversity.
Diversity. We have a very diverse area.
Yes.
Well said. 2 more questions. If you weren't an agribusiness communicator type of a person, what would you be doing?
Ooh, this is what somebody asked me on my last podcast also. I said my answer is, when I was younger, I was like, I want to be a flower salesperson in New York City. So that's my answer.
All right.
Opposite jobs, I guess.
You may have already answered this. And last question, what's your favorite summer activity in Greater Prescott?
I love kayaking.
You love kayaking.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's something I haven't done yet.
It's so fun. Yeah. And paddle boarding, is that the one you stand up?
Yep.
I like that too, especially with dogs. It's so
what
fun.
lake?
I like all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. To wrap up, tell everyone how they can get in touch with the farm, learn about all things farm, give it to them. And I'll also post all of this.
Perfect. Cool. So, we're in Dewey, Arizona. Come by anytime. We're open every day of the year except Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And there's a few days that we close, and Easter. And there's a few days that we close early for holidays.
Okay.
But every other day we are here and we're open, and we love having everybody come and visit us.
Yep.
We are also on the website, mortimerfarmsaz.com, and on Facebook and Instagram at Mortimer Farms. So follow along all of those places and then come out and visit us.
You got to come out.
Yes.
The kids are just going to love it. Even if you're an adult, even if you're retired, I think you're going to find something really unique and interesting here.
Yep.
Which is what is really cool about it. I think no matter how old you are, you can enjoy this place.
Yes, definitely. We always say it's the time that you can act like a kid again on all the fun rides, and then there's big shade trees, and it's relaxing, and grass, and picking strawberries, and all of that. That's all ages. Everybody's welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited that you and your family, in a sense, are living your passion, which is just, what a great place to be. I mean, yes, you work really hard and your family works really hard. At least it's doing something that you guys love.
Yep. And really, I mean, people say if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Something like that.
Yeah, and really, whatever the saying is, really, that's true.
Yeah.
I'll look up from doing my work and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's dark out. I need to go home. And I really feel like that's what we're doing. We're living what we love to do, and it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. You guys, please come support Mortimer Farms. Head over to Mortimer Nursery if you need anything as well. You can see behind us just a ton of amazing things going on, and the passion that you guys have for it that's like the icing or the cherry on top. That just makes it all worth it. It's just your passion and interest. So, you guys, thank you very, very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.
Yes, thank you so much.